Here we go.
We are on, Brian.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. This is Brian Terrian from the Disability Digest, and thank you for joining our YouTube live event today. I am participating from downtown Shelburne, Vermont. I have Jam and Philip here with me today. Philip Price from the country of Texas. Thank you for joining us.
Hello,
Wonderful.
everybody.
Jam, where in the world are you today?
Still in Dubai.
In
Thank you.
Dubai. Yes, good. So welcome. So for today's event, we are going to start by just going through some of the qualifications for disability, how Social Security looks at your conditions and the severity of them when they decide upon them, and how that will impact your review status going forward. So we're going to spend a few minutes on that, but we're mostly going to concentrate on answering questions that you may have today. So there's a few questions in advance that have been submitted. We'll address those, but I'm going to open up the phone lines in a few minutes, and you can call in with a question that you have. Or if you are in the process of trying to get it approved and you want us to kind of do a dive on your deep dive on your analyzing your case and seeing if we can spot something, we'd be glad to do that. Oh, we're going to spin the wheel today. For those that call in, we're going to put your name on our spinning wheel if you've attended before. And then when we wrap up today, the winner will be sent an Amazon gift card. And don't worry, folks, gift cards are gifts. They don't count against your countable income. So you'll be able to do this and keep your benefits. All right. Are you ready to roll?
Yes, we are.
Wonderful. Okay, so the common question, this is a question that came in from a member, Christopher. Actually, Christopher Bean. Bean is a family name on my mother's side. All right. Has French roots, known as Lefebvre en français. So award letter doesn't state when I will get my CDR. Wants to know how to find this out. So I'm going to go to this website here that Jam, if I'll put it in the chat, you can put it out for the others that are out there. But this website will give you an idea when your disability review will be. And when you get approved for disability, some of the award letters do not indicate like the year of your award. And if it doesn't, then you can find out by contacting Social Security if you really, really, really want to know. But Social Security reviews your benefits based on the expected medical improvement. So on this page right here, if it's medical improvement expected, then you're going to be reviewed. An example of medical improvement expected would be, let's say you had a stroke, and it left you with a loss of mobility on your left side. You're not able to use your left hand, not able to use your left leg. You're somebody that has been relying on your feet and your hands to do your work, and you're not able to do it. An example like that. Or another one could be, but you get your mobility back through rehabilitation. Or you could, Social Security thinks that you could. Another example of that would be somebody has cancer and they go through chemo, radiation. It's going to be like an 18-month plan. So they'll be out of work for more than 12 months. So you can get, because of the treatment. So that's another example of a condition. So the number 2 is medical improvement not expected. If you are in this category, then it says here, individuals with impairments not expected to improve no less than frequency of once every 7 years. So these are like 7 years or not at all. And then the last one down here is medical improvement possible. So again, based on how Social Security views your condition, and your award is going to be the time frame, if there is an award. Okay. Let's see. There's some other questions that were submitted by members here. What to do when doctors are not submitting patient records? This is a good one. So if you're going through the disability approval process, or you're one of the 500,000 that is in a disability review, and Social Security has requested medical records from your doctors and they're not delivering them, this is where I'd suggest that you definitely get involved. Most patient portals, you can access your medical records and you can download them, print them, deliver them by hand to Social Security, and make sure you get a return receipt. It's unfortunate that you have to do this extra work. The only other alternative would be is just find out what the deal is with your doctor, why they are not complying, and ask them to assist. So those are really the 2 ways that we've seen that you can be effective at doing that. Here's somebody that was approved in 2 months. Phone number ending in 8521. Congratulations. Okay. So here's kind of a question, a phrase from somebody that says, took me 4 years to get approved with no back pay. Been trying to get help from anyone to get medical treatment. I'm not sure what the exact question is, but if the question in there, or for anybody else that is considering appealing a Social Security decision because you didn't get the back pay that you were looking for, that's typically the reason. It's really the only reason that I know of. So let's say you're wanted to get, 18 months of back benefits at $2,000. It's $36,000, but you've got like $10,000 or none. You do have the right to appeal. However, what we've seen is that Social Security will and has totally stopped the benefits with the appeal, even though they approved you and said, okay, yeah, you're approved. And it's interesting how they justify this. So you have to understand the risk reward. Reminds me, Philip, of Michael. Wasn't his name Michael Hatterton?
Mike Hatterton?
Mike Hatterton. Yeah.
Exactly what he did.
He appealed and he got paid. So it does happen. It's just you have to be cognizant and aware of the situation. Okay, good. So let's do this. I see that there's a lot of questions out there, and I am going to open up the phone lines. You'll be able to call in. and ask me your question. We're going to do that for a few minutes, and then so we can get to the bottom of some of these. I'm just going to put up on my screen the phone number to call. Just also wanted to add this in advance. This phone number that I put up with this extension, when you call in, it is available for this live event. And it's not something that we are able to get back to you if you're not able to be one of the callers that gets through. So we just do our best during these events to take as many calls as we can. So if you call, or you're listening to the replay and you call this number and you leave a message, just understand that it's just for this event that I'm sitting here on the phone and able to take a call for you, and certainly welcome doing so. So the number is up on the screen. I'm going to open the phone lines up. You can call in. It could be maybe you have a success story or a question. And again, the callers that call in, we're going to spin the wheel at the end and give away a prize. So yeah, 844-202-5609, extension 15. All right. So in the meantime, if we have something in the chat or a question that you, Jam or Philip, you'd like to address, let me know. We'll have a shot at it. Again, for those of you out there, it's 844-202-5609.
Do you have one, Phil?
Go ahead, Jim, if you got one.
Okay. Here's one from the live comments. I received forms for an exam and they had strange ailments on them, not what I was applying for. I crossed them out and put the conditions. I've been treated for 2 years. Is this the right thing to do? And is it taking over 2 years to get approval? Is there anything else I can do to speed up the approval process? You're on mute, Brian.
Yeah, I have somebody on hold. So what's interesting about the question is that the forms already had information on them. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
So if it's adult function or work history documents, those should come to you with nothing in them. And they should definitely be your conditions, your information.
He received forms for an exam. I guess it's for an independent medical examination,
For an
Brian.
independent, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not familiar, because usually what I'm familiar with is you receive a notification of exam, and on that notification, I have not seen anything medical. So I guess my point's going to hold in that you want to make sure that there's correct information in any documentation that you have regarding your case. That seems, am I correct in understanding that's really the underlying question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the question was, is this the right thing to do? What he did was he crossed them out and put his conditions.
Yeah, I would go with yes on that.
Okay.
Yeah, good. All right, well, thanks for holding. Who am I speaking with? Steve, I can hear you loud and clear.
We
can't
can't.
hear you. We can't, Brian.
Well, now that he's passed, father wants to sell the house, and sure enough, Medicaid is jumping in and taking the money from the sale of the house, regardless of his father. Is there anything that can be done? I mean, the man paid Social Security all his life, Medicare all of his life through payroll deduction, and it seems to me like they're just stealing. They're going to keep that money and charge the house. I would think Medicaid should be able to take his Social Security paid in to pay the difference that was owed from him being on Medicaid at the end. Any ideas on what can be done?
This is frankly, it's outside of my area of expertise, but before I say total no, I want to make sure I get the question. So the 61-year-old is the one that has the house that's being sold and is on Medicaid?
He was joint tenancy with his father, who is 85.
Okay.
He passed, Mark passed away at 61.
Okay. Okay.
Now they're going to sale of the house with my father.
Okay. And what state are you in?
Indiana.
Now, he doesn't have a surviving wife, but
Okay.
he does have a son that was living there for quite some time until he went into rehab, and we want to know if we can file a grievance for his son
Right.
against the state for the house.
Right. Yeah, this is, there was something that I came across in Medicaid in Ohio recently about housing, and I was just trying to pull that up. I don't have any suggestions for you on this. I think that my best advice, I hate to kick the can down the road, is to try to find somebody that is, like a Medicaid expert in your area. One thing that you could do, is contact your local center for independent living and ask for free legal aid there and run this question by them. That'd be a good starting point, actually. Are you familiar with Are you familiar with centers?
Yeah, kind of. What happens to your money when you pass away and you paid in all your life? It just goes away? They keep it?
So
They steal it?
when you say you paid into like Social Security or Medicare?
Yeah, both. Through payroll deduction like we all do.
Right. So
It just,
right.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So I'll use Social Security because that's pretty much the world I live in. If somebody passes away, their Social Security check stops. And it's not, it's not continued. The only exception where somebody could capture that would be for survivors' benefits if they meet the criteria. So yeah, you're right. It just stays there. Yeah.
yeah. So you pay $110,000 in Social Security, you die before you can collect it,
Yeah.
and the government steals it, and American population allows that.
Well, I mean, I guess you could look at it that way, although that is the deal. It's something that you pay into and you can access it, based on the criteria. I understand what you're saying. And yeah, so in a perfect world, in your example, if you paid in X amount of dollars, then you would be entitled to that for a certain amount of time. And if somebody died, expired, whatever it is, then the balance could be paid out, right? Kind of like a whole life insurance policy. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't make the rules. It's an interesting concept. Yeah. So.
I mean, otherwise we print money and send it all over the world. So if they say it's to keep Social Security alive, well, I call a lie on that.
Yeah.
You just print money.
Well, that's true. I mean, I don't know if you listened to Attorney Brown last week on his comment on it. Like, Social Security won't go away, in his opinion, because we just keep printing money, and it's tough to get anybody elected that's going to like rip it apart. So, yeah, sorry I wasn't able to be of more help, but I would definitely get somebody that's got a higher level of legal expertise and Medicaid assets. To get that taken care of. All right. Oh, I want to make sure I get the last 4 digits of your phone number here before you hang up, so we can put you in the spinning wheel.
0128.
0128. Okay, Steve, 0128. Get that, Jim?
Yes, please send it to me.
Okay. All right. Listen, thanks so much for calling in. Wishing you a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Yep. All right. Wonderful. So let me just finish this up, Jam. And I'm going to open up the phone lines here again in a minute. Okay, the line is open 844-202-5609. Good day. Thanks for calling. This is Brian. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello? Can
Can you
you?
hear me, Brian?
It's a little choppy, but you're coming in better now. Did you move your phone?
Yes, I'm on the phone now.
Okay.
I got a question to ask you.
What?
Me
Yeah.
being
Who is this? Who am I speaking with?
Anthony Burton, Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Anthony in Atlanta. All right.
Hey, Anthony.
I got a
Anthony.
question. Me being,
Philip says hi, Anthony.
Hey, how you doing, Philip?
Anthony, how
I
you
got a
doing,
question.
buddy?
Okay, hit me. What do you have? We have a connection issue with Anthony in Florida.
I say
Georgia.
me being 57 years old, 57, trying to get SSDI and retired military for TDIU. Does that help in my case at all with my age?
You're 5'7", is that it?
Yeah, 5'7".
Yeah. I mean, it certainly could help your age. When you were working, what did you do for work and for how long?
Well, I did 20 years in the military. I'm retired,
Okay. And
and then they put me on. They told me I'm unemployability, so they gave me 100%.
okay.
Unemployability. I can't work, but for 15 years I used to work in the warehouse and in the mailroom.
Okay, is that the
When
15
I got
years,
out.
Anthony, prior to you stopping work? You were doing warehouse work?
After I retired in 2006, I started working in the warehouse and working for a mail carrier company.
Okay.
And then I had the VA during that 15 years. 3 years ago, they told me I was unemployability because I had back surgery
Right,
and I suffer from mental illness and PTSD.
right.
So they told me I couldn't work no more.
So the last block of work that you did was in a mail house?
It was in the warehouse.
Warehouse. How'd they get mail out of that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the warehouse.
And like, what kind of work in the warehouse were you doing? Like driving a forklift, doing inventory, managing, all of it?
Heavy inventory. I was cutting paper. I ran a big machine cutting paper, lifting 80-pound, 90-pound boxes and stuff like that.
Okay, and were you on your feet most of the time?
Yeah, I was on my feet. You're on your feet all day.
All
For the
day.
whole 8 hours, you're on your feet.
Ouch. And you have a bad back. That's what your VA rating was for?
Now my VA rate. Well, I'm waiting on that. I got to appeal in for that. But my VA rating is for mental illness and depression, and I got mental illness, PTSD, depression.
Yep.
They gave me 75% for depression and suicidal because it said I'm suicidal, so they don't want me to work because of my depression and all the medications I take. I'm on 9 different medications right now.
Okay. And is there anything that like limits your ability to stand, like any of your injuries or?
Yeah, really is my memory. I can't remember nothing. I don't drive. I can't drive. I don't remember nothing.
Okay.
And so.
All right.
I can't stand because of my back. I can't, so.
Yeah. And what is it that's gone on? What is the injury to your back?
I just had surgery last year, October 6th. I've had spine surgery.
Okay.
Major spine surgery last year.
Fusion or what'd they do?
Yeah, fusion. That's what it's called, fusion.
Fusion. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is my take. You did a great job answering the questions, Anthony. As your age definitely, in my opinion, will help you get approved, and here's why. Is that when you're in your 50s, and especially if you're over 55, and you've been working and doing the same type of work like you have in a warehouse for 15 or more years, we didn't talk about what you did in the military, then the premise of your disability case, or what needs to be proved if it's done right, is that you're not able to do your job anymore. Now, you've shared a few things with me that prevent you from doing your job, which is the brain health issues that you have. The doctor doesn't want you to do that. But if you're in a situation where your work that you were doing required you to stand 8 hours a day and you just had a back fusion, that's also evidence that would be helpful for you. So again, my answer would be yes, definitely. It would help you. Where are you at in the process?
I don't know. I'm waiting on my attorney to get with me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I know. They're not done with my records yet. I filed last year. I'm like 72%. I go check Social Security. I'm like 73% done. With they 73%, 75% done looking at my records. So
Okay.
I don't know how long it'll take. So
All right.
it's been 9 months now. So
well, and your rating's 100%. Is that right?
what? I get paid for 100%, but I'm 70% IU and 70% IU.
Okay.
I'm 70%. That means that I'm unemployed. They gave me that because I'm unemployability. They don't want me.
Right.
I'm TDIU permanently, totally and permanently. TDIU 70%.
Yep.
Because of my mental illness and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't work. If I work, I only can make like $2,000 a year. But poverty level, whatever that is, I don't know.
Okay.
But you can't make over a certain amount.
All right.
So
all right.
yeah. I got a good lawyer there.
Good.
I got a good attorney.
Good.
And I'm speaking to him right now.
Well, that's even better.
Yeah. You guys represent me. So.
Yeah. So listen, I thank you for calling in, and just publicly, I want to thank you for your service. For me, like as I've said before, I haven't served. I don't have any military experience, but I have a lot of respect for those that do, because that's why we are able to live, in my opinion, in this wonderful country that we're in. So thank you for that, and thank you for calling in. I am going to give Jam the last four of your phone is 8181 and your name, and we're going to put you in the spinning wheel at the end here. So, all right.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Thanks
All
for
right.
calling in, Anthony. All right.
Good to hear from you, Anthony.
All right. Okay. All right. I am just. Okay, Jam, here it comes. You might have to do a spell check on that. Clearing the phone lines, and we are ready for the next caller. 844-202-5609. You want to chat about anything while we're waiting?
You have one, Phil?
Yeah.
I want to just give a shout out to people out there. There's been a lot of applied and waiting questions this week for people that are interested in working and applying. We had one individual, Bruce, so keep him anonymous, is advocating for his wife working in chronic pain at Walmart. She's at 30 hours a week because she has to be, so they can keep their home. And she's just in absolute tears. She's in the bathroom crying. But the challenge is that she can't stop because, well, if she stops, then they're just not able to sustain themselves. So it's really a difficult situation because you can apply in this situation, if you're earning $1,550 or less. But in those instances, when you're earning at that high level, even though you're allowed to apply, it's really challenging to get approved. So if your income and you have a really good case is down in like the hobby level of, $400 or $500 a month, there are instances when that can work and you can still get approved. So just be conscious of what the difference is between the regulations and what you can actually accomplish for getting approved, right? Okay. So let's do this, Jam. Are there questions in the chat?
Yes,
Okay,
there is.
I'm gonna pause the phone here and we'll take some of those so we can focus on them.
Okay. Here's one, more of a statement, but I would still like to read this. I've been waiting for like 3 years. Age discrimination. There's 54 million on disability. They take trillions in taxes, yet people are dying waiting for help.
Oh boy. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
What really is the question? Or is it a statement?
Statement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm not trying to be conservative. I don't disagree with that statement. It was kind of similar to what Steve was saying.
Mhm.
I will. I mean, I look on the side that we're grateful for. We have a system in place so that if somebody can't work and they paid in, then they can get approved. It can stabilize their home, get them some income, and some insurance. I just, for me, again, I'm just focusing on what we have, what you can do. I don't have an interest, power, leverage, platform to be able to, change everything and redirect what's going to the Ukraine into the Social Security system. So, but one other thing I'll reflect on that is that we have long waits in certain states. And last week, Attorney James Mitchell Brown, who is up on the screen still, but is not here today, he pointed out that it's the state's allocation of the money or lack thereof that oftentimes is slowing down the process. So some people do need to take ownership for the delays, and Florida was the state that was pointed out on that. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. What's next?
Okay. How does one supposed to maintain quality of life when earning extra income puts food stamps and QMB at risk of being lost? It's almost like being penalized.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
from
tough
Jacob.
one. I would look at a stable account and other ways that you can do that if you are dual eligible, so you can make money and it doesn't go against your Medicaid eligibility. I would definitely do that. There is some criteria. You need to have a condition that was diagnosed at a certain age. And if you search the YouTube channel for stable, STABLE, that would be it. There are other ways. If I was, speaking to you privately, I would be more comfortable pointing those out. But I would start there.
All right. My daughter is waiting for her hearing, which will be virtual waiting for the date. My question is, if she is not granted, the SSDI, does Social Security long-term disability not get paid back?
I see. So she has a private long-term disability policy. Is that it? Sounds it.
Okay. Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah. Just the last
Okay.
part, last sentence.
if she is not granted the SSDI, the Social Security long-term disability not get paid back.
Okay, so, yeah. This is the question is this: if this individual has a long-term disability policy, which most of them have written into their terms and conditions, that when you get approved for disability, what you've been paid through your long-term disability company from Guardian or Aetna or whatever company it is, that you owe that money back. So if you don't get approved for your Social Security disability, do you still owe the money back? And I don't know. I don't know how the policy is written, but I would look in the terms to find out. And if you're not able to find out and you're a member here at the Disability Digest, we have resources and people that you can speak to that are specialists in the long-term disability legalese of those policies. Yeah, be tough to pay back if you don't have the money, but again, it's based on how it's written.
All right, I'm still waiting on my initial SSDI decision, and I am planning on the first denial. So in preparation for the state of Texas reconsideration phase, can medication side effects be a potential basis?
They could, but I just would back up. I would encourage you to adjust your mindset. I mean, if you're going to go through the disability application process, I would encourage you to think about winning. Many do, especially if you use a disability approval course, or, if you're using professional representation, the odds go up, significantly. So first is that, I mean, just flat out the across the board initial application approval award rate is 36%. And if you do it right, of course, it goes up. So if you have medication side effects that can clearly communicate that you do need to take the medication, it's part of your treatment protocol, and the side effects prevent you from working, then yes. So an example of that would be, let's say that here's one. Let's say that you're an over-the-road truck driver. You drive big 18-wheeler, and you have severe chronic pain. And you've gone to physical therapy, and they want you to take some heavy narcotic-like medications. But your CDL will not allow you to drive on it. And you've been doing this work for more than 15 years, right? So it's not necessarily side effects directly correlated to it, but it is, as a result of taking the medication, you're not able to work. Okay. All right. Let's take a couple more questions for today, and then we'll
I have one.
spin the wheel. Yeah.
Okay,
have
go Phil.
All right. Cheryl asks, what are my chances at 64 with rheumatoid arthritis?
So I presume that's chances of getting approved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And here's why I say that's a very limited amount of information, Cheryl. And it's not the condition that you have. It is a few key components on the disability approval process and keeping your benefits. And here's what they are. If the rheumatoid arthritis is diagnosed, which I expect it is, ideally by a rheumatologist, and is being treated, primary care rheumatologist or some combination thereof, then that meets the first two criteria. The third is, what are the limitations from rheumatoid arthritis? Because I'm sure there's other people that are 64 years old, a female, that have rheumatoid arthritis, and maybe they're still functioning fine. But what is it about your rheumatoid arthritis that is preventing you from being able to work? Like maybe it's in your hands and you're not able to grasp, or you can't sit, or you can't stand or bend or stoop, or physical things like that. So if you have more information like that, then that would definitely help me. And then there's other things like Anthony. We talked about Anthony and the fact that he's over 55, which you are. What have you done for work and how long? And does the condition prevent you from doing that type of work? Good question.
All right. I receive SSDI. I have contacted Social Security that I will be doing small work. All my wages are under SGA. Do I have to report to SSA the wages? I will report 1099 to IRS, of course.
The obligation that the award letter says is to notify them that you are working. And once you do that, in my opinion, you fulfill that. And I would suggest that you do it in writing, because if you do it over the phone and somebody says, yeah, I gotcha, click, then, and there's no documentation, then that could cause a problem. Good for you, supplementing your income. I think it's a great thing to do. Yeah.
All right. Can medical improvement be expected if the person is a bilateral amputee below the knee using the prosthesis?
I'm not a doctor, so I really don't know. I don't, how would you improve? Maybe there would be better prosthetics. I don't know the answer to that one. I would lean towards no. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there a delay in awarding back pay if you are awarded SSDI but denied SSI?
Definitely. Yeah. It goes from whether it's the hearing office or the local state office into a payment center, and the payment center for Social Security is the place that distributes money to everybody that's awarded. And so they need to analyze the offset, like how much did you receive in Medicaid, and you might not have received any cash payments in Medicaid, but they still are going to look at that, and just that process delays it. But we have one individual right now, he's in month 11, that he's been approved with no back pay. It's a dual eligible SSI. The guy really needs the money. It's a mess. But yeah, here's one tip. If you're applying for disability and you know that you're not eligible for SSI, don't check the box and apply for both, so you can avoid this and just get paid faster. Yeah. All right, let's take a couple more. These are quick ones if you have them.
My wife received her award letter on August 2023, but she hasn't received any back pay or her monthly payments. Is this normal since everything is backed up? Also, can she check the status on this, or does she need to be patient?
No, I think she's beyond the acceptable time frame. I was doing math on my fingers. It's like 5-6 months. So I know from like those that we have here, we have some that went to court in November and they've already been paid. So I would definitely take some action on that and find out if there's a problem. We have here at the Disability Digest, we have tips and strategies that you can follow. You can search the YouTube channel, but you want to find out where the money is, like what your payment center is that it's at, and then you want to start the process. Now, if you used an attorney, then I would contact them and put some heat on them to take some action. Otherwise, you need to learn the collection steps on your own, and start executing the phone, the faxing, the calling, maybe getting a representative involved, those types of things.
Okay. Say the medical problem for which you are seeking disability began prior to your receipt of pandemic unemployment benefits from summer 2020 to August 2021. During that time, to receive those benefits, you have to check a box saying you were physically able to work. Should you just say your disability started after the unemployment benefits ended?
I would answer the question as truthfully as you can. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay.
One more
Got-
out of the group
Okay.
here. Says for those that have been approved for appeal and have kids under the age of 18, do you automatically get benefits for them?
Yeah, if your application was done right, the information should be in there. If it was not, then you can add it later, but you receive benefits for your children that are under 18. And the formula goes like this. Let's say that your check is $2,000 a month, then your oldest child would receive 50% of that until they're 18. And then the next youngest child would receive 25% of your amount until the 18-year-old check stops, then they slide into the top spot. So the amount of money that your kids can receive, there's a family maximum of 150% of your check, and then it's capped out. Here's a little known tip that people don't know about. When your child turns 18, the check stops. However, you can have the check continue from the age of 18 to 19, another year, if the child is still in high school or a secondary school. So most kids graduate and they're going to go on. Nobody wants to really stay back. But if they did stay back, then that would apply to them. However, they can go to a secondary school. Now, a lot of kids do the gap year strategy. And you could use, there's many secondary schools that would be a good gap year find for them. You know, they could go do it in some wonderful place, and you know, you've got an extra $10,000 or $12,000 that you're working with. So something to consider. Yeah. All right. Okay. One last question, then I've got to wrap and get ready for my next meetup here.
Okay. Got my notice for the consultative exam in Waco, Texas for March this year. Do I need to take any medical records with me?
That's a really good question. So we provide 6 really important steps in our disability approval course. And one of them is bringing your medical evidence. And you can bring in a whole stack of them if you want. Like I think Anthony, was it Anthony? Somebody said they had a lot of medical records. And you might not want to print all those off and bring them in. But if you don't do that, then bring in, usually if you look at the last visit, like with your primary care, they're going to list all the conditions that you're being treated for, and bring in something of substance that says, okay, listen, these are all the conditions I'm being treated for, and this is what I expect to be evaluated on. Because if you don't do that, then you're putting yourself in a situation where whatever the examiner wants to evaluate, they're going to evaluate, right? So definitely bring in some evidence. Yeah. There have been people that have brought in a big stack. I've known like a big 3-ring binder that a member had sent a picture that brought in, set it down on the exam table and said, all right, have at it. You got 12 minutes. You going to go through all this? Right. Okay, great. Listen, we're going to wrap up today in respect for time. Jam, Philip, thank you for your help, for your contribution to today's event. Oh, we're going to spin the wheel. Jam, let's do that before we go. You do that, and
Um,
I'll just give everybody a shout out what's coming up next. If you're new here, we hope you enjoyed the show. There's over 1,100 videos on our YouTube channel, so you can check those out. The very best way we can help you is, if you want help, is if you join us as a member here at the Disability Digest. And the reason why that is, or maybe your situation or your condition has changed and we haven't heard from you in a while, is to update us. And so the reason why that is the best way is when you click this green button at the disabilitydigest.com and you complete a profile. That profile helps us understand where you're at in the process, so we can give you more of a laser approach to getting you the right information. Whether you're applied and waiting, applied and denied, all the way through the process to approved, or even, there's things that are asked in there, like, what are some of the things that you would like to receive in addition to, your disability information? It could be discounts on food and clothing. It could be credit repair. It could be travel information. So these are the questions and information. So completing a profile definitely will help you out. No charge for the membership. When you come on in as a member, there's no charge for, when you come on in. So we have courses that will teach you like what to do, groups and people you can talk to. So that is how we can help you. Oh, so how you want to do this, Jim?
yeah, let me share my screen.
Should I start the
We
drum roll?
only have 2.
Only have 2. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Only have 2, and we're going to give away one winner today.
Okay.
One of the 2. So 50% shot of winning an Amazon gift card coming up right here.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay,
Drum roll.
I'll start. Please don't let me like last time.
You might have to put your hands on that wheel and spin it. There we go.
Oh gosh.
All right, looks like these 2 are duking it out for the final.
Fighting over it, ain't they?
Right.
It's very thrilling.
It is. The suspense is killing us. Anthony.
It's Sir Anthony.
From
Anthony.
Atlanta. Yes. All right. So
Congratulations, sir.
we have his phone number ending in 8181. Check your text. You will receive an Amazon gift card shortly. All right. So listen, thanks everybody for joining today. We will be back next week here at the Disability Digest. Make it a great day.
Thank you,
Bye, everybody.
guys.